also a Forbes contributor, and I am here with former 168-pound WBC champion and perhaps soon to be second-time champion in the division, David Benavidez. How you doing today, David?
I'm doing good, man. Actually on the way to the gym right now to get some hard work in. We got 2 weeks left of training camp, 3 weeks left, for the fight. So I'm very excited. We've done a lot of hard work. We're just extremely ready to go back in there, give the fans a great fight first of all, and then get our belt back.
Absolutely. So talk a little bit about how camp has gone up to this point.
Camp has gone really good. We've been here for at least like 9 weeks already, so we've been very dedicated. I've been training alongside my friend Raul Valenzuela. He's also fighting on the card, and my father, Jose Benavidez. So we've been working 3 times a day, three training sessions a day, and then just been trying to push it to the limit the whole camp. And I feel very, very confident in my training, and that I'm gonna go in there and I'm gonna definitely win my belt back.
All right. So for everybody that doesn't know, on September 28th, on the same card as Errol Spence, it's actually the co-feature for the Errol Spence Shawn Porter fight. David Benavidez will be taking on current 168-pound WBC champion Anthony the Dog Dirrell. So this is that, and the fight takes place in Los Angeles at the Staples Center. So this will be your second time fighting in Los Angeles, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, the first time I fought, I think back then it was called the Home Depot Center. What is it called now?
Some like Club Nokia or something like that.
No, it's the Staple, the StubHub.
The StubHub Center. Okay.
Yeah, the StubHub Center, and then I fought at the Nokia Center too. So this is my third time fighting in Los Angeles. So I'm very excited.
Third time. Got it.
Basically, like I'm fighting in my own backyard. I've been training here for almost 10 years. Coming back and forth. I know a lot of people here. I got a lot of fans here. Definitely a lot of fans here. So I'm just very excited to be fighting here again at the Staples Center. It's very huge.
Yeah, it's obviously the biggest venue in LA that you are fighting in. So you enjoyed those previous experiences fighting and training in LA?
Oh yeah, definitely, man. It's like I said, it's a second home to me right here. So I love Los Angeles. I love the people here. I love the fans. I love the type of energy the fans bring to the fight. So I can't wait.
Yeah. Now I know I mentioned Shawn Porter is fighting in the main event, and I saw you were recently sparred with Shawn, and I'm assuming Shawn is trying to get some work with a bigger guy because he's going to face Errol Spence, who is naturally a bigger guy. So you sparred with him in preparation for the fight. How was that session for both of you guys? You think like both of you guys got the work you were looking for?
Yeah, it was a good sparring session. Shawn Porter is a world champion for a reason. So he did the stuff he did. He's a very good pressure fighter. Puts a lot of very good pressure. But me, I feel like I'm just a little bit too big for him. I'm way bigger than Errol Spence too. So you can just imagine how bigger I am compared to Shawn Porter.
Right.
You know what I mean? So I try to fight on the inside with him a little bit. Just to give him things to work on. And then with him, I would just box. I would box more. Just to get away from his pressure. So we both walked away with something good. It was a great time sparring him. Him and his whole team, they're all great dudes. So it was a pleasure sparring him.
Yeah. Now, obviously, that you were the champion before, and there were some issues back in September 2018. So, can you talk a little bit about bouncing back and obviously your goal of reclaiming your title?
There's a minor setback. Some things happened. Mistakes were made outside the ring that shouldn't have been made. But the thing that matters is that we're still in contention. We're back again fighting for the world title. We never forgot how to work hard. I feel like I'm one of the hardest working guys in boxing. You know what I mean? So opportunities will always be made for me as long as I keep working hard. Me and my team, we stay really strong together. And we just keep working, man. We're here back again, and I'm gonna win my title come September 28th.
Yeah, it's actually, it seems like maybe the hardest part of this happened already, because before the last fight against Jalen Love, which you won with a stunning second round knockout, that was the fight where there was the big layoff. So now you get an opportunity to come back and fight just like 6 months later. So can you talk a little bit about how that was, shaking that rust off, if there was any at all?
Well, the first year, it wasn't really. I mean, the first fight I had, it wasn't really. I was out for a year, so it wasn't really as much ring rust because we were training the whole time. I wasn't training when I got suspended for a year. I was training the whole time. So by the time the fight came back, it was just being more anxious than usual, you know, and especially because it was a huge venue. But as soon as I got to the venue, to the ring walk, you know, all those nerves and all that, it all went away, you know, and you know, it's just the body knew what time it was and what it was time to do, you know. And so I think I wish I would have won a little bit more rounds with Jay Leon Love, you know, but he couldn't take more rounds, so you know I got him out there. But my plan was to go at least 5-6 rounds. But hey, I don't get paid for doing overtime, so
Right.
I seen the opportunity and I took him out. But it was, like I said, it was a great win for my career. It was a great experience and it put me back in line, you know, to get my title back.
Yeah. I mean, I think I saw an interview where you said you expected to knock Dirrell out or beat him up. Now, he's never been stopped in his career before. So what is it that you see that you think that makes you say, I'm going to be the first to stop him?
I just, you know, sometimes I say these things not only for the people to get excited for it, but for me to motivate myself. You know, I know Anthony Dirrell he's never been stopped. But I've been in there with some great guys, and I've heard a lot of guys in sparring. I've heard a lot of guys in fights, you know, and I've heard world champions. So I know I have the power to hurt anybody. You know, all I need is opportunity, that little window of opportunity. So I know I'm a dangerous fighter, and I can hurt anybody. You know what I mean? So Anthony Dirrell is a good fighter, you know, but I feel like he's just slowing down just a little bit, just watching his last fight. So I feel like, you know, I have the hunger, I have the strength, you know, I have the youth on my side. And it's also a big opportunity to fight. If I can steal the show at the Staples Center, man, it's gonna be crazy what that's gonna do for my career. So you know, I'm coming in very motivated for this fight.
Yeah.
And also, I have the shot selection, the combinations, and the speed to hurt Anthony Dirrell. So I'm looking forward to that. I'm expecting. Yeah, man. But like I said, you know, I have everything in my arsenal to hurt Anthony Dirrell. You know, and I'm not overlooking Anthony Dirrell too. You know, he's an old veteran for a reason. You know, he's been in this game for. He only has one loss for a reason. You know.
You're
Yeah.
like you were saying, you're not overlooking Anthony Dirrell. You understand he you know only has one loss for a reason. But you were talking about your shot selection. Yeah, the left hook to the body is nasty. Has hurt several guys, and obviously has the power to hurt everybody. Now, according to BoxRec's rating, which you can take that for whatever it's worth, they consider Dirrell your most your toughest opponent. Do you think that he is going to be your toughest opponent? Do you see this as something that's going to be an easy fight?
Oh no, definitely. He's definitely the toughest opponent without a doubt in my head. You know, just look at his track record. You know, he has a lot of good fights in there. You know, he has a lot of experience. He's a two-time world champion. So you know, I know what I'm going into. Basically, I'm not overlooking anybody. I want this to be a hard fight because I know once it's time for me to dig deep, the best out of me comes out. So I'm looking forward to that.
Yeah. Just two more questions for you. I know you got to get in there. I know you don't want to look past Anthony Dirrell, but do you have your eyes set at all on a unification fight with Caleb Plant if you were to win your world, if you were and when you win your title back?
Definitely, I feel like that's one of the fights. You know, I feel blessed. You know that's one of the unification, and that's one of the fights a lot of the fans want to see. I see a lot of people talking about it. You know, so just for the fans to get excited for a fight like that is definitely a fight I want to take. You know, I definitely want to make my mark in boxing, you know, in the history books, you know, so whatever the fans want to see, I'm all for it.
Absolutely, man. Lastly, I got to ask you who you got Spence Porter in the main event of your on your card.
It's going to be a good fight, man. You know, both fighters could box, both fighters could brawl, but I feel like at the end of the day, it's going to be who has the stamina, a little bit more stamina, and who's willing to push more. But I feel like, I don't know, I feel like Earl Spence, you know, he has a little bit more, you know, he has a little bit more reach, and he might have a little bit more power. But you know, I don't know. It's definitely it's entirely up to them. I never like picking fighters, but it's entirely up to them.
I got you. Well, I appreciate your time, David, and I wish you nothing but the best moving forward and good luck on September 28th.
All right, thank you, sir. I
Thanks
appreciate
a
it.
lot,
Have a
man. Have
nice
a
day.
great
Thank
day.
you for the interview.
For sure.
Thank you
You
for
have
the
a good
interview.
one.